Hello, good evening, and welcome to Pulse of the Week. This is your man, Kofi Asante Mensah. A pleasure to have you this evening, and you're welcome to the program. This is live on NSG News. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is Pulse of the Week, where we bring you a wrap of activities and major stories that's occasioned within the week. I'm here to serve you with an editorial piece this very evening. When I return from this break, there's a lot on Ghana's telecommunication. I want to also serve you with my African proverb. In fact, let me do that right now. And it says, a message delayed is a message weakened. Also, the drum that speaks well is heard beyond the village. So tell the telcos that they have a missed call with Kofi Asante Mensah here on Pulse of the Week on NSG News. I'll be right back to serve you with my editorial for today. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much. And go on our many social media platforms and do like our page. This is our social media platform. It'll be showing on the screen pretty shortly, so you can have our IDs and go ahead to like our pages on social media. Hello, Ghana. I want to talk about the Ghana telecommunication, or the telecommunication sector of this republic called Ghana. But before I even start, I want you to see some few videos of some poor connectivity in and around town, this very republic. Some are in the outskirts of the town, some are within the capital cities of the regions, and sometimes in the capital of the republic, Accra here. So I want to show you some few videos, and then we'll begin.
The National Communications Authority's reforms now require telecom operators to keep call drop rate under 1%, achieve at least 95% call connection success, and deliver average 3G speed above 1 megabit per second. Responding to the directives, the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Sylvia Owusu-Ankoma, says operators are committed to reliable service, but urges the regulator to align rollout plans with practical realities.
I welcome the directives from the National Communications Authority. The objective to ensure that Ghanaians have a reliable and a high quality telecom services is one that we embrace. They are committed to meeting those obligations, as I've mentioned, within their defined rollout plans. Every network operator and their strengths. So we need to ensure that the NCA is working very closely with our members to support them through their rollout plans to deliver the service. But having blanket requirements such as, getting into all district assemblies, the challenge we face there is that even as it stands, we do not have clear demarcations, as to where the
is highly competitive and technology intensive. Customers are always looking for cheaper means of enjoying services and tend to prefer companies that provide better services at lower costs. For these cheaper and improved services to happen, telecommunication companies must invest more in state-of-the-art infrastructure. One such infrastructure are steel structures seen in communities known as telecommunications towers or masts. These are mounted to provide wireless connectivity to devices such as mobile phones. The key role of these towers is to ensure mobile network operators can provide services to customers by transmitting signals and data at the required speeds in the community. As the population grows and the demand for data and voice services increases, the need for more towers also grows to ensure that network service quality does not deteriorate. But siting these towers requires land, but the cost of land leases and community acceptance are significant challenges that need to be addressed.
I must stress that one of our key challenges as a business includes the cost of land lease and the community acceptance of the tower. But ATC has We have a long-term strategic partnership to be in Ghana. We are in our unwavering commitment to telecommunication sector. We are putting ourselves to work with the members of communities where we operate. We make sure that we actively engage the community before and after and during the period that we are in the community, so they see the need and the positive impact of the towers in the community.
Some communities have, however, rejected the siting of these towers in the Upper East region. Their reason is that they have little knowledge about the benefits they bring.
We have them, but still they are not helping. We don't know whether as they stand they work or they are not working. You can even buy data to do your own things, and at the end you won't be able to do the work, and when you check, the data is not even in your accounts. Though the network is not good, yet they have taken their bundle.
They are there. Sometimes the network is good, sometimes too. Especially at night, you want to send SMS, but the network won't allow it. We really need them to do a lot. They should work on their network. Especially night, evenings, sending. We hardly get network, so they should work on it.
Despite efforts to improve their services in various committees, a large chunk of the population are still without network services, and if they do, it is poor. The Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications is leading its members to mount over 2,000 towers in rural communities.
The Ministry of Communication and Digitalization themselves are also embarking on this rural telephony, where they are planning to install over 2,000 towers. So what then happens is that these towers, once they are set up and then the operators jump onto them, you provide telecommunication infrastructure. And once telecommunication infrastructure happens, you find out that businesses in the community pick up. People are able to do mobile money. People are, they are able to use that to live their lives. And then you find out that, the economic activities in those communities also go up.
To ensure the siting of the towers do not have any negative environmental impact, the Environmental Protection Agency deploys officers to conduct impact assessments in areas the towers are sited.
The EIA department, Environmental Impact Assessment Department, would normally go and conduct environmental assessment to determine what would be the impact of siting those masks, to mount those things, and whatever is going to be emitted from there. More importantly, the issue about gensets and the fumes that comes out of it. If you know, the telecom masts are not supposed to go off. If they go off, you and I are going to start crying that our network is not working.
As the telcos keep expending money to improve services, they are often hit with unplanned costs. One such cost is purchasing fuel to power generators, as they are often hit with erratic supply of power from the national grid. But the telcos are bent on ensuring their clients are given the best of services. Reporting for GH1 and Star News, Right,
thank you very much. And thank you, GH1, for that very report. And we'll move on to my editorial. I've captioned 8. Do Ghanaians deserve these poor telecom services? High call drops and breaks, disappearing data, internet disruptions, among others. So do Ghanaians deserve these poor telecom services? This week, millions of us have once again asked a simple yet profound question. Do we deserve the kind of poor telecom services that have become all too familiar in this country? Frequent call drops, disappearing data, slow and unstable internet. These are not just inconveniences, they are barriers to commerce, education, healthcare, and our very participation in the digital age. To unpack where we are today, we need to understand how Ghana's telecommunications and its landscape evolved, and whether that we are experiencing fits, what we're experiencing fits the aspirations we once had. I want to tell you about a brief history of Ghana's telecommunications. Ghana was among the early adapters of telecom liberalization in Africa. In the early 1990s, the government began opening up the sector, breaking the monopoly of the former state-controlled Ghana Telecom and inviting private investment and competition. The telecom reform programs in the mid-1990s also included the liberalization of mobile services, which led to the introduction of the first mobile operators, such as Telecom's Mobitel in 1992, and other entrants shortly after. This swiftly was intended to widen access, improve quality, and lower costs for consumers. Over the decades, mobile phones have become ubiquitous. By early 2024, there were nearly 39 million active mobile connections in Ghana, a penetration rate exceeding 113% of the population, meaning many Ghanaians hold multiple SIM cards to navigate coverage, challenges, and pricing. Ghana had about 24 million internet users then, with internet penetration nearing 70%. At least this is according to the Global Digital Insights. Let's talk about the National Communication Authority, NCA, their mandate and the laws and regulations governing our telecom communication industry. At the heart of the telecom regulation in Ghana sits the National Communications Authority, NCA, established by an Act of Parliament, initially under Act 524, 1996, and later affirmed in the National Communication Authority Act 2008, 2008, Act 769. The authority is the statutory regulator for electronic communications, tasked with licensing operators, allocating spectrum, setting standards, protecting consumers' interests. I want to repeat that. Protecting consumer interests and ensuring fair competition across the sector. The legal and policy framework governing telecommunications includes the NCA Act, the National Telecommunications Policy, and other regulations on interconnection, spectrum use, equipment approvals, and quality of service. These laws are designed to ensure not only market growth, but also that service quality meets the expectations of citizens and international benchmarks. Let's talk about the telecom network operators. Today, Ghana's mobile market is dominated by a few major operators. One, MTN Ghana, I must say, the largest operator with tens of millions of connections, contributing a majority market share. Two, Telecel Ghana, formerly Vodafone, a key player following acquisition and rebranding. AT Ghana, another licensed operator with a significant subscriber base. Collectively, these operators have driven widespread coverage, yet quality issues persist as core concerns for subscribers. I want to share with you the realities for consumers, and people will say the realities on the ground. Poor service quality. Despite the high penetration and the promise of competition, many consumers continue to voice frustration with service quality. Reports from consumer advocacy groups have highlighted poor reception, unprecedented data usage, slow internet speeds, and a staggering call drop rate as high as 28% in some cases. These statistics paint a picture of significant gaps between service expectations and reality. The NCA recently tightened quality, I think within this week, tightened its quality standards with the aim of tackling exactly these issues, slashing acceptable call drop threshold to below 1%, demanding high call connection success rates and setting higher benchmarks for data speeds. But there's a pushback. Operators now face the toughest quality of service rules in 20 years. And that's a quote. I want to read a quote again. Quote, toughest quality of service rules in 20 years. And you can see a copy of the press statement on your screen. With the threat of fines and other sanctions for non-compliance. Are these poor services acceptable? That's my question. But I answer it to say no. In a digital economy, please listen. In a digital economy, reliable connectivity is no longer a luxury. In a digital economy, reliable, maybe I have to even add, and affordable connectivity is no longer a luxury. It is essential. Yet today, Ghanaians endure frequent interruptions and quality shortfalls that undermine work, productivity of our work, education. People are learning, students are going to school, they are learning. Healthcare, everything is digital. Connectivity, healthcare, it undermines healthcare. And economic opportunities. Whether it's losing data you just bought, enduring dropped calls in the middle of important conversations, or battling slow internet when trying to connect to loved ones, local or abroad. The frustrations are very real. Regulators have acknowledged these challenges and are tightening rules, but implementation, enforcement, and investment are the key stones that will determine whether these regulatory reforms translate into real improvement. I want to repeat that. Regulators have acknowledged these challenges and are tightening rules, but implementation, enforcement Family, I said enforcement. And sometimes investment, because they would love to take the money and take it away to South Africa, take it away to London, take it away from Africa. They don't want to invest for quality services. Yes, they don't want to invest. So investment are the keystones that will determine whether these regulatory reforms translate into real improvement. The question we must all ask and demand answers to is this: if telecoms are supposed to be a backbone of our modern economy, digital economy, why does our experience here in Ghana, sometimes in the capital Accra, feel like a step backward? I feel like we are in 1990 when we started the telecommunication, 1992 and 1996 when we started the telecommunication. This is 2026. Ghana deserves better. Quality telecommunication service are not just about convenience. They are about dignity, opportunity, fairness, and progress. And until operators consistently deliver on the promise, the answer to today's question, do Ghanaians deserve these poor, abysmal, poor telecom services, must emphatically remain: no, we deserve far better, far better. I want us to listen to some Ghanaians who are battling with connectivity. Watch.
Communicating with our families, like, you always be on time, like through messages. Sometimes you tell them that if you don't get me, give me an SMS, so that when you are walking through the town, when you see that there's a message, that is how come you go to a place, find a very good position, and then you call them. As I'm talking to you right now, we lost most friends, and then communication with family members is very, very bad. In a percentage wise, it's like about 30 to 40%.
And yakura, esa mi be kura phone am de ba me nya network nti da atofie. Nti e bira wa hadodo. Am afra koko school, sana wa afra ma moyal, wa fra mente. Mo to obofo. Asana wa baka chama me kafana. Nti has the network de on yakura.
Due to this poor networking, I can say that it doesn't encourage us. Yeah, I can say that it doesn't encourage us that much to be delving so much into researching or otherwise. But what I can assure you is that when we are out of town, like on weekends, that is where we normally delve into, going through researches, doing our homeworks, even gathering information, in terms of if it's coming from the GES, even any other platforms for your own benefit. Yeah. Other than that, staying here research-wise or whatever, in fact, I think it doesn't encourage us because of the bad networking. Yeah.
If all of us try to leave this community and then move outside our comfort zones, I think some of the children will go wayward. That's why some of us are here. We really want to move out. If I really want to do something that is to serve the internet, then I would have to locate where I will get a stronger network, and then I'll be there till I'm done with everything before I move out.
Kronusa. And so a doma walk room, Krotobe and Nayana num. A doma a dozen ye papa, call boy or network on one kepe, a bepe.
Communicating with our families, like, you always be on time, like through messages. Sometimes you tell them that if you don't get me, give me an SMS, so that when you are walking through the town, when you see that there's a message, that is how come you go to a place, find a very good position, and then you call them.
December 2024, that the previous administration launched with fanfare 5G, let's just say that it was smoke screens and voicemail. There was actually no fact. I mean, even that day at that center where they launched the 5G, there was no 5G network, and there is no 5G anywhere. If there was 5G, I haven't directed the NCA or NGIC to turn off any 5G site. We would have seen it. But I think it's such smoke screens and gaslighting from the previous administration that made the Ghanaian people give such a decisive victory to President Mahama. And that's why for me as his Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, I'll be truthful and honest with the Ghanaian people. We have no 5G service in the country. NGIC has received all the necessary approvals. In fact, last 2 weeks, I gave the final connecting entity license approval for MNOs. They're asking for an additional license for ISPs, which I have declined. My argument is simple. You have a license. You've had it for almost 3 years. At the very least, I've given you the authority and the license to regulatory approval for you to connect to MNOs. Focus on that and roll out with MNOs. Why do you want me to add additional ISP?
All right. Thank you very much. And you saw some connectivity challenges relating to some Ghanaians in this country. The minister responsible for the telcos in this country, communications, digital and innovation, or whatever. That's Samuel Nante George. I'm going for a breather. I have a big shock for you. When you stay with me and I return from this break, there's a big story to share with you. Please stay. Hi there. What number is this? 3, right? All right. It's time for NSG News. Welcome. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah. And here at NSG News, you'll get serious documentary to watch, news, reviews, views, and what have you, because we have Pulse of the Week and also exclusive on the hot seat. On NSG News, we say news with integrity.
Oh, no beginning. Get used to it. I have stepped into my new beginning. Yesterday is gone. Yesterday of darkness is gone. A whole new beginning. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get used to it. I've stepped into my new level. See me watching me flying on eagle's wing. A whole new beginning.
The drum that speaks well is heard beyond the village. Listen, we are not happy with you. MTN, the madness happening in the telecommunication space is just uncalled for. Excuse my French. The monies you are making in this country, and I have the figures here. When we talk about it, you will tell us fiber optics cuts and cost of land expensive. People are cutting your fiber, etc. We were in this country when we were about welcoming Glow. If you remember, Glow was coming. We know what you did. MTN. Now we are faced with challenges, even in the capital, the nation's heartbeat, the capital, the gateway to Africa, Ghana, our capital, Accra. Before you can get good connection to talk to a dear one, a business partner, etc., you have to roam about in your room, sir. What is that? Please, we are warming ourselves up for a big demonstration against all the telcos in this country. Telecel. You say, who no go Telecel crowd here? Any 80. A country that does not control its communication space. Ghana. And Sam George, you must wake up. The Ningo Pram Pram MP, Sam George, someone not a George, you have to wake up. Please, these new reforms you have set aside, and I've spoken about it this morning in my editorial. We have to ensure, and there is about 40% you are indicating that it will go to the consumer. Please, we need huge investments. Sam George, we need huge investment in the telco sector. 4G. We don't feel it. We don't feel it. Now they are talking about next gen and 5G and whatever. And they are saying a 4G here, you know. I just pray that 5G will not come and do the same. Because our connectivity in this country is very poor. And I don't know, with the Vodafone experience and with this bite I am coming to play, this insert I'm coming to play, I'm tempted to believe that you, the telcos, you are very corrupt. You are corrupt, papa, with the politicians. You are very corrupt. And you know your way to corrupt the system. And those who want money to go and do politics, like the politicians, who are ministers and what have you, they know how to collaborate with you to rob us off. This poor network we experience, and this slow like tortoise, not even like tortoise, below the pace of tortoise, this slow internet, this slow connectivity, is because you are robbing us off. And you are corrupt. All the telcos, I'm telling you. Could you get me that interview, that professor's interview, and pay it for them?
And I'll tell you.
I'll tell you, we deserve much better than what is happening in this country. People are so corrupt. People are so corrupt. You make millions of dollars in this country, then you send it. You make millions of dollars, then you repatriate the money with your collaborators, the politicians. On the 27th, rather, on the 17th of May, on the 17th of May, it would be World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. It will fall on a Sunday. I will not go to church. I will come and lead a gargantuan demonstration against you, the corrupt telcos we have in this country, your abysmal and fraudulent acts. Corrupt people.
And I'll tell you why. And I'll take a rather long route. Now, where did Google start? America. Where did Twitter start? America. Where did Facebook start? America. Where did TikTok, the Chinese company, where did it start? America. Just keep going. And if you look at the people behind these technologies, a lot of them are Europeans. In fact, computer technology was given to us by Charles Babbage, a UK citizen. So why is it that these companies, these technologies are starting in America and not in Europe, but they are being started by Europeans? And I can show you I can take you to Act 843, our data privacy law, and show you and give you the answer in that act. The simple answer is the kind of laws that America passes and the kind of laws that Europe passes creates the environment as to whether you can start this business here or there. And it is quite natural for us in Ghana, once a law is passed in Europe, we just copy and paste. So, like I said, I can take Act 843 and show you why Google cannot start in Ghana and Google cannot run in Ghana. I can take you to Act 769, the National Communications Act, and show you why I am bold enough to say on television that every telecommunication company in this country is a corrupt company.
Wow.
I have no proof, I have no evidence, but circumstantial evidence tells me that if you go to Act 769,
wow,
the president of Ghana appoints the head of the NCA, appoints the board of NCA, appoints the officers of NCA, appoints the staff of NCA. So by our law, any telecommunication company that has to operate in Ghana has to be nice to the politicians. So it is very easy for an investor to set outside Ghana, take Act 769, decide whether I'm going to Ghana or I'm not going to Ghana. If I'm going to go to Ghana, then I should be prepared to have nice relationships with politicians. And you know what that means, to be nice relationship with politicians. Okay. So, and again, back to Act 843, you will notice that America is unable to meet the data privacy standards of Europe.
Yeah, that's true.
So Europe does not admit America. So Europe has had to pass a specific law to admit Americans. What these things led me to was, my first profession was in computer science. I was a programmer for quite some years. And then based on a need, I moved to engineering.
Yeah. His name is Dr. Kweku Bwedi. No, this is not the acrobato one. Okay. He's a lawyer. He's an engineer as well. All right. And he put it so clear and explained it, even without evidence. You are corrupt. Telecommunication for you and your politicians. You see, that reminds me of the Vodafone deal, the 5 million USD that this MP, I've forgotten his name, PC Appeal for it, spoke about. You are corrupt. We are preparing for a serious demonstration on 17th of May, 2026, World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. We, Kofi Asante Mensah and NSG, the future of Ghanaian digital journalism, news with integrity. We are going to lead a gargantuan demonstration where we will spark online. You put your picture wearing red and telling the telcos, MTN, Telecel, AT, and even NCA, and Sam George, the Communications, Technology, Digital and Innovation Minister, to do right to the people. Thank you. A message delayed is a message weakened. This has been Pulse of the Week with your man, Kofi Asante Mensah. Thank you very much, and we'll meet again.